But, Lindsey, recap your saga with this individual, and then let's get into the predictions. What this fellow said the elite are going to do now. Lindsey Williams.
Thank you, Alex, for allowing me the privilege of being on your show today, because yesterday, Wednesday, the 24th of this month of February, I was on the phone with the elitist who over the years has given me so much information. And in the course of our conversation, I was so startled by what he told me that the elitists have in store for every American this year, 2010. I immediately called up Jaron, your producer, and I said, please, Alex's audience needs to know this. It's so important. And Alex,
so this is the first time.
The very next day, you'd let me be on your show.
So this is the first time this info is being revealed.
Yes, this is the first show that I have given his conversation on yesterday, just yesterday with. I've been on nobody else's show since then, and this gentleman
we appreciate
told me something so startling. I said I've got to tell people as fast as I can.
Okay, let's break it down, and then we'll go back through each point in detail.
Okay, first of all, let me tell you, I'll give them to you, and as you said, and break them down. First of all, he said how much the dollar is going to change in value in the next 12 months, 2010. He said that 30 to 50%, and he elaborated it, went on. Second thing he talked about is Dubai City compared to Dubai World. Oh, he said, Chaplain, make a distinction between the two, because he said Dubai World's default on $80 billion. He said it has literally, because they are the number one promoter of derivatives in the world today, it has caused the entire world banking system to be on the verge of collapse. Then he went on to talk about gasoline prices, crude oil, compared to where prices are going to go in relation to the dollar. I was amazed. He almost laughed at me on the phone when I asked one particular question. He talked about the elections in November. Oh, my goodness. He was very emphatic about it. And, Alex, I'm still standing here dumbfounded over what he said about Israel invading Hamas, and he knew it before it ever happened. I mean, these elitists plan everything. Then he went into Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Yemen and had some very definite words about this. And, Alex, before we take these one by one, please let me say to your audience, folks, I lived with the elite of the world for 3 years' time. I have kept in touch with them over the past 35 years. Every time they have told me something, it has happened exactly as they say it. Folks, I want you to believe everything that Alex Jones says on his programs. He is right. He's trying his best to tell you things that are difficult to believe sometimes. Believe it. He's telling you the truth. I know it from firsthand experience by living with these people and talking with them over these years. And, folks, I just wish to goodness I could come in your home right now and sit down and tell you, believe every single word you're hearing on the Alex Jones show every day. And listen every day. Don't miss a day, because if you do, you're going to miss something important. So,
well,
Alex,
Lindsey, let's break this down. There. Let's break this down. We have Citibank and other banks saying they'll hold your money for 7 days. They're openly talking about devaluing the currency. Fox News even has the report from the government saying they may have a run. That's up on prisonplanet.com today. And the article Paul Watson wrote, we have the feds announcing that they won't insure money markets, which is most people's savings. We see Greece falling, Spain on the verge of falling, Iceland being robbed by these people. We see them moving. We're starting to see commodities go up. And 2 weeks ago, the News of Australia reported a secret banker meeting with the 24 central bank heads discussing unified, concerted global currency devaluation. Is that, when you talk about banking and the dollar going down, specifically what did he say on point number one about a 30 to 50% devaluation in the next 12 months?
Alex, what you have just said to your audience, every single bit of it is the truth. It all fits in with what this gentleman had to say to me. Keep in mind that these people think in a completely different world and realm than what the average American thinks, and we're going to have to think in the mentality of the elite, the thought patterns of the elite, and that's the reason I've written 2 books to try to explain their thought patterns. Now, so let me begin in a way that the average person can understand it. Everybody wants to know the future. I don't care who they are. Even you and I, Alex, would like to know the future. And this is probably the only reason I keep in touch with these people. I don't like talking with them. Believe me, it's not pleasant.
Did you call him or did he call you?
I called him because I wanted to know what's going on in 2010.
Now, he's got to know you're talking to the public.
Oh, he knows exactly why I was calling him. First of all, I called to find out how he went through his operation. Keep in mind, this gentleman is 87 years of age. He is very feeble.
Yeah, when he called you a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, he almost died. That's, yeah.
Yes, and as a result, he said to me the other day, Alex, this is amazing. He said to me on the phone, he said, Chaplain Williams, I'm too old to care. Please tell him everything. I mean, Alex, can you imagine having the privilege of telling everything that the insiders of the elite have to? Okay, let me begin so that the average person can understand it. Let's go to the future. What you are hearing on Alex Jones Show, what you're hearing me say today, it didn't come from a fortune teller or palm reader. It didn't come from the zodiac or the horoscope or tea leaves. This came directly from an elitist himself whom I talked with on the phone on yesterday. And these are the people who control the world. I'm going to begin with the necessities of life. I know we just left to plow into what's happening in the G7 and all that sort of thing, but let me go down to the simple points so that the average person can understand it. And here it is. Now, I know this sounds quite different because you've got to understand that the elite don't think like we think. Here we go. There will be no shortage of food and water. Now, I've got to clarify this. Please, you will not be able to buy it. I mean, this is... The methodology of the elite are so astounding. The grocery store shelves will be full in 2010, in 2011, 2012, but you're going to go hungry. And the elite already have it planned to do things in the exact opposite way than what the average person is thinking. And please, don't be offended at me now today. I'm just trying to tell you what this man told me that is so important to you. He said, I'm going to read it verbatim. I wrote it down as he was saying it. You will lose 30 to 50% of the value of your money in the next 12 months' time. And he said, in our new world order plan, if the strawberries all freeze out in Florida, we merely bring them in from another country. If everything in the citrus crop in California fails this year, we merely bring it in from somewhere else. There's not going to be any shortage on the grocery store shelves whatsoever. You see, there are some encouraging notes in this whole thing in talking with these people, even though there are many negative notes. He went on to say the reason that you'll go hungry is because you're going to lose 30 to 50% of the value of your currency in the next 12 months' time. It's already planned. They're going to do it by a number of methods, which he mentioned.
Stay there. We got to go to break. We're going to come back and go through point one, and there's 5 or 6 big key points that he brought up to you. People laughed at Lindsey when we had $60, $40 a barrel oil, and it went up to $150, exactly as he said. This is directly from a former oil company CEO. Look at your women crying. All right, going back to Pastor Lindsey Williams, who worked in the oil fields and was invited in to the board meetings with these top oil executives, and who wrote several best-selling books on the subject, is in contact with one key individual who's very close to death's doorstep, whistling past the cemetery. So he's just bragging about all the things they're doing, and it meshes very accurately with our sources inside Bilderberg Group. And what Lindsey's talked about has come true over and over again. Unfortunately, we wish this information was not accurate. Okay, you were going into the dollar, lose 30 to 50% in the next 12 months. Continue.
Alex, I must give God all the glory at this point and state that by the providence of God is the only reason I'm on your show today. And by the providence of God is the only reason that I, a little insignificant unknown missionary out in the bush of Alaska, was allowed to sit on the board meetings of the elite of the world for a 3-year period. Therefore, what you hear today, it will happen. Folks out there in the listening audience, please believe me.
At least as far as this elitist believes. I mean, things might, but go ahead. Start breaking it down.
Yeah, let's break it down 30 to 50%. He said you're going to lose in the value of your currency in the next 12 months. That means that they literally are going to go into your bank account and withdraw. He said it'll be the bottom, the very least that you're going to lose is 30% of the purchasing power of your currency, the Federal Reserve note. He said you probably will lose 50%, and this is within 12 months, 2010, people. I'm giving you what's going to happen this year. Back, as you remember, about 4 or 5 months ago, we talked about a 2-year timeline that they have. I'm talking about today, 12-month period. You will lose probably 50%. That means they're going into your bank account, your savings account, your IRA, and by the methods that they have planned, they will literally withdraw 50% of the purchasing power of your currency. Therefore, as I said a moment ago, there will be plenty of food and water on the grocery store shelves, but you will not be able to buy it. Okay, let's go to the next item, crude oil. I know all of you want to know where the price of gasoline is going, but I've got to explain it the way that he put it. And he talked about this in depth on yesterday on the phone, by the way. Please, the listening audience. On Wednesday, yesterday, the 24th, I was on the phone with this gentleman.